All right, ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, fellow viewers, welcome back. Now, let me tell you something about a weekend. We're still within the weekend. We're within the weekend, but let me tell you what was going on from earlier today to yesterday. So, a weekend, it's not merely two squares on a calendar. It is a test. It asks you a simple, almost embarrassing question. When the noise dies down and the obligations loosen their grip, who are you? And how do you carry yourself? And I'm pleased to report that this weekend I kind of answered a little bit of that question. So one of the things too is I got to see the kids, not personally, physically, but on FaceTime this weekend. Not in the way I would have scripted it, mind you, not with my arms around them, like I mentioned physically, but through the small glowing miracle of FaceTime. Okay. And here's the thing people forget. Presence is not a matter of proximity, it is a matter of attention. So that is very helpful, especially in this digital age. It's very, very great to have that capability. So what did they do? Well, most of the time, yesterday, they were out and about with my parents, being spoiled rotten, frankly, taken shopping and taken to eat the way the way grandparents have done since the dawn of grandparents. And I sat there and watched their faces light up the screen, and I thought, this is the whole game right here. Children, laughing, cared for, safe. You can lose a great deal in this life and still be a wealthy man if that picture holds. So to my parents, thank you for stepping in, for being the steady hands when mine couldn't reach. That is no small thing, and I see it clearly. Now, another thing, let's talk about a meal worth naming. Thank you, first of all, for Mikey and Megan. Let's talk about the food, because many times I take food seriously, and so should you. Mikey and Megan came to visit, and and pretty much they did not come empty-handed. Okay, they brought a meal, and I want to be specific because specificity is respect. So it was steak, asparagus, sweet potatoes, and Spanish rice. Now, do you understand the architecture of that plate? That is not a snack. No, that is a statement. The whole thing was satisfying in the deepest sense, not just the belly, but something underneath it. Okay, because a meal made and carried to someone, um, made and carried to someone, is never really about the calories. It is a sentence spoken in the oldest language we have. Pretty much, they're saying you matter, and we showed up. So again, thank you, Mikey and Megan, for providing that meal. So and thank you for the meal, the food within the meal, obviously. Thank you for that far rarer thing, which is your time, for not only just bringing it, but being here with me and communicating with me. So you drove the distance and you sat in the room, and I won't forget it. However, meanwhile, in Dallas, a word about Valerie here. Now, I want to set the scene for you. Picture me right here in this hospital bed, hooked up, holding down the fort, a picture of patience and quiet dignity, and then picture Valerie. Where is Valerie? Valerie's in Dallas at Joshua's basketball tournament, which, to be fair, is exactly where she should be, cheering on Joshua in the tournament. Now, that part I love, that part I applaud. But somewhere between the bleachers and the concession stand, the woman has gone full celebrity tour, taking pictures with Manu Ginobili. Manu Ginobili, four-time NBA champion, Hall of Famer, San Antonio royalty. And there's Valerie, smiling like she's known him for years. And let's call it what it is, folks. That was not a polite arms at the side, thank you so much photo. I think there was some flirting involved. I know flirting when I see it, and I'm seeing it from the hospital bed 200 miles away. So let me get this straight. I'm in here getting my vitals checked, and she's out there charming Hall of Famers at a youth basketball game. Oh, the audacity. Honestly, okay, I respect it. That is a woman who does not let a little thing like my hospitalization slow down her highlight reel. You know, Manu, if you're watching, and let's be honest, you're probably not. I just want you to know that that one's spoken for. Beautiful photograph, though, frame worthy, but I'll allow it. All right. So now, how am I? I'm doing well, genuinely. I've been watching some soccer. You know, this beautiful game, 90 minutes of grown adults reminding us that hope and heartbreak can live in the same breath. Okay. I've caught some WWE because sometimes the soul needs spectacle theater and a good story told at full volume. And I've been gathering recommendations, movies, series, the works, building a little list to keep the mind fed. That might sound like some small stuff, isn't it? I mean, that might sound like some small stuff, and it really isn't. So when a person can still take pleasure in the ordinary, that tells you the spirit is intact, the lights are on inside, and mine are, then I know I'm still standing, still building. So here's the headline, though, and I'll say it plainly. I'm about to begin my 7th week in the hospital. 7 weeks. Sit with that number for a moment. And yet here I am, staying busy, staying productive, doing the very best I can with the cards in front of me, because that is the whole secret, isn't it? You do not get to choose your circumstances. You only get to choose your posture inside them. You can let a hard chapter shrink you, or you can decide deliberately, stubbornly, to keep moving forward an inch at a time. I have chosen the inches every single day. So if you're watching this and you're in your own hard week, your own week 7 of something, let me leave you with this. Find the FaceTime call. Notice the meal someone made you. Watch the match. Take the recommendation. Gather the small good things, because they are not a distraction from the fight. They are the fight. They are the evidence that you're still in it. So keep going. Stay grateful. Stay sharp. And I will see you right here the next week, the next day, the next time I put up a video. So thank you, and I'll see you again. Godspeed.